2024, the future before us, perfect bullseye, achieving our greatest ends, putting forward our need and requirements, that is the identity or the self, as it progresses into the future. To promote oneself evenly or in the right amount is to enterprise in a way that is gentlemanly. That is my aim today. And welcome to the perfect circle. This communication venue opens up like a wizard's castle the size of the universe, at length resulting in like Men's Health magazine update, or like my liver, without humor, the science of anatomy, humanity as it aches through a historical now point. We're looking forward at 2024. How does the individual make personal gains? Perfect bullseye. Like harvesting or rendering on the invisible market, increasing your soul caliber. Like how to rightly balance the amount of augmented soul with societal interface and, well, the abbreviations a gentleman must make. With our full empowerment of alertness, we go into the night. The most beautiful things. But the disjointed headlines affront us. For example, these headlines. Zombie deer disease, a slow-moving disaster for humans, scientists warn. Right, this is the headline news. And in my interpretation as a lifelong American wizard recording artist, and I'm working to open my own company. I'm working to open a revolution of that causes business to inflame like wildfire. How to give it life, how to make people excited about the communication, or etc. Like, it's at this point not between you and me. We're both brought into a place of zero rift differential because I'm on my YouTube channel with like 5 different views on this video. Wow, all of these different people. Well, the headlines, they go further. Here's the headlines today. Eating more chicken and cheese is feeding the U.S. groundwater crisis. Right? Devastating toll on aquifers. So the water is being damaged because we're eating so much chicken and cheese. This is the ferment of our headlines informing us about who we are, like the mirror. The news does not caliber the correct spinal orientation, like the intensity of a man's life is not calibrated or brought into somber focus like I've seen it now. When we see the news, and that's what's affronting, sir. There's like a false reality. And my company seeks to crack the spine and bring people to a different reality. And it is not unpleasant. It is a new atmosphere. It is like a haunted castle where you envoy with the deep creatures of the Earth heliosphere, in the plots of Venus, in the calculation of the moon, in the caliber of millions of people. What are we actually doing here? Society. So the news gives us these bad reports like, hey, eating chicken and cheese is messing up our water, okay? Well, this is crazy, bro. There's another way of engineering it. So as Americans, we're not receiving the truth or the news from what is labeled as explicitly the news. Myself as a scientist, I'm reporting that people enjoy a lifestyle that visually replaces the living light with like Christmas adornment, right? Like magic. Right? Magic should be here. But instead, the truth of a universal environmental impact, like the somber natural living in the wild, the pack of wolves, 10,000 wolves and one alpha wolf on top of the mountain. And he is your shadow. You are my welcome guest. You are part of the audience. You are listening to my voice. How do we magnify the now point so that we're having an adult moment and we can cause the reality to progress in a mutuality, because that does exist. There are things that like several people are like, oh, that's perfect, let's go with that. Several people said yes. That's a movement, bro. Society, how do you work with thousands of people? It's fascinating. Oh, the humanity is an adult vortex, and we have the right calibers. Between us is the more powerful societal communication light than can be found on the news. You know, one is hungry, searching around for Americana. I am not satisfied with the new video game releases or that vintage has discovered Nintendo games. You know, people are starving. It's stupid. I'm working on a communication company startup that is exciting, has characters with lights in their eyes, like a wolf mechanical ring. Hey, I challenge you, bro. Hey, but I need production to make that happen, make it visual, animation. There's budgeting to all of this. Right now, I'm starting up from my apartment, right? Revolutionary. And that's the individual. You guys are welcome to this firelight campsite conversation business startup entropy to revitalize America. Business and the downtown, hey, to defeat the sacrifice virus. Let's say the entire universe has a complex and it's all wood, but actually, on a microscopic level, the compress of hyper clockwork was able to delegate while entire warp space universe is pinched in this way, which is delegated the actual human orientation over the next 100 years. Like the antennas of what they're actually saying, bro, because of to not be fooled by the right orientation, like the appropriate scullular perception, like we're the intelligence, we're the owl of our eyes, we're the ones who understand what we're seeing, bro. You see a picture, all the information is there, all the picture, we understand what we're seeing. But then to be brave, to be the jettison where you have a justice or a inner choosing, and you delegate, and it persuades and actually causes an increase for the next 2024, the next 100 years. We're working with a larger mapping where we're looking forward. All of a sudden, it's potential. Humanity with their weird pineal eye gland is like pointing backwards, and or these mechanical wonders. You can whip it around, create your own soul. 1,000,000 years in the future, you discover the authorship, the scrambles of your entire lifetime, written on an aluminum crisp. Aluminum foil, the number one element, most sensitive. The revolution of the universe, identity, is the sharpest blade. So like a linear timeline, the people discover in the future that their value in the universe was way beyond what was the feeling of being alive, because there's a lot of humble buffering to being a human. You live and you're like, I have to take, I have to feed myself, I have to take care of this, and this causes me to have justice because I'm a robot that takes care of, hey, I'm taking care of all this stuff, right? Bridling the now point. The universe shares a time equilibrium to literally cause yourself to pierce the veil and rise above the entire universe to have an enlightened moment. Breakaway 2024, perfect bullseye. Like a cable relief from your perfect unicorn torn, this is who I am. In the greatest light of each of us living, we are like this excited person. We're the hero. Okay, do it. Perfect bullseye for the next 100 years. It's like a chainsaw link that destroys evil. The chainsaw blade that runs from this now point. How do we literally change the universe? How do we change time? Imagine yourself situated on top of the universe. The electromagnetic flux of your body causes like a meditative lotus. And you're enchanted in your lifetime, right? But between living lifetimes, humans can whisper to each other and be like, hey, are you awake? Oh, let's go for an adventure, right? Times 10,000, all right? So we'll make these other wolf carriage, and and all of a sudden, like, part of our hair is going, oh, I had a dream about this. Well, you'll, in a couple days, you'll muscle it out. Oh, I understand what was happening there. There's several people in the world, in America today, communicating through this light on the stage. This moment of communication is like anything can happen. I'm the one who is a director, the author that is self-aware of that. I'm working to reach the greater audience. Trust me, I'm working to reach America. I want to open up a big company, streaming service, Lakeside, and all that. And me achieving the type of business, like owning your own company, sainthood, I'm not there yet. I'm at a point where I'm in my greenfield apartment giving this sort of, streaming on my YouTube channel. And people are hanging out, listening, and, being a part of American life. In this year, 2023, I'm here to harness the physics that between us, like a aluminum Y chromosome that increases healthy babies, to be a light spring for 2024. So we're going to increase our karma. Basically, we're not wasting our time, but we're going to use aluminum, most sensitive aluminum. What is between us? The Ifrit of elemental wielding allows us to determine the truth, but you must be the type of solemn character, the judge, who clings to the absolute lightning point precision truth. Because in the aluminum crisp of like all truth is actually recorded, but as a human medium, you have to delegate about what people are saying and how do we move forward. And that's what's awesome about being alive. And between the living, we can share a moment of ecstasy in that. And I try to employ it. I'm trying to get to a larger audience. So I'm looking for partnership production for my brand to reach the audience of millions of people. Animation is, I want to bring these characters that you see in the background, like a stained glass window in the chaplet of Hatch and Millie's Masterforce Industries, to life. In my company, I'm a studio startup in my greenfield apartment. And it's like escape velocity. How to fall in love. Who is going to perform Millie? Who's going to perform partnership with me? And why do we do that? So the leverage, I want to anchorage on the other side of Christmas so that we perfectly tethered Christmas. I had a wonderful time with my whole family, and we anchored deep. A new creator was born, and I harnessed the demand physical lock to ensure the universe is making progress as we're moving forward. It's almost like I discovered that my opportunity as a professional to tether with the continuum that reaches into 2024. Essentially, the future is like a blank canvas or a blank image. The future is for us to author. And humanity is particular in a spiritual way about this. But as simple visuals like a unicorn's horn emphasizes around anatomical, spiritual, robotic composition of like what is the appropriate adult self. And that's the thing, is like from the 70s, we have a broken adult. But when they're working with me in this medium in the perfect circle, we're like best friends, we're lucid. We're like, how do we improve myself to the 500%? I want to go, like, I'm right here in my life. I want to change the future, literally add years. I want to wind up the clock of my body, my robot. I want to increase years to my life. Can I do that? Yes. I mean, that's math. I mean, moving forward, there are solutions like like what did he just say? Absolutely. Like when you're reaching into the future, there are only solutions. But the human condition reports, the universe has energy confusion that the childlike human is not actually factually guilty of authoring, because you're born, you're an animal, you're like a human, right? But the problem is when the universe is treating humans too muchly or overtly as an animal, and then then there's something wrong. Something's abbreviated in the society, and we need to bring adult enlightenment to every corner of the aspect ratio. And sometimes it's intellectual, like, what are we looking forward to in 2024? How can we change our living environment? Super cities? How can we increase, our let's change the way we live. And then there's the supposed other physical engagement, like, oh, but the schedule and what you're going to be doing with this bam, 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 with the system is bam, 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 causing me to be, like, oh, the system proves that I'm a hardworking individual. You need to outshine the construct of the rules, not to break them, but to uphold them. Why do we have rules? It's really difficult to be a leader today, bro, because a lot of people are like, well, what if you just shimmy and that's lifestyle today? Well, that's like, the truth, like if the truth overarches and some people are just kind of, oh, like, oh, that's what it is, buddy. And there's like, technically the fact takes a photograph and you can see the picture and you're like, look, I from the picture, I can see what happened. And there's a mutuality no matter who you are. But each of us has our good days and our bad days. And we need to understand to delegate justice is to nobly react to what we're experiencing in a sort of fifth dimensional level, which I'm bringing to the circle. I'm saying it's beyond human to believe that our individual identity effort is the upholding justice in the society, in the world, but it is. That's the only thing that's upholding justice in the world. You want to save millions of people in the future? The curvature is now. You apply now. 2023, you curvature now. You change it now. And then millions of people are saved in the future. You do the right thing. You look at the picture. You do the right justice. That's the right thing. And the visuals, the picture of the circle, your round retina, two of your eyes. It's like a marriage agreement. You're born with marriage already written into your skull. So you're a happy couple written into your anatomy and nestled inside of your brain. Oh, it's so cozy to be me. And yeah, but how you delegate and help others. Exactly. Well, Merry Christmas. You guys, I had a wonderful Christmas day. Today is the day after Christmas. And I'm looking forward to the future. I want to tether. I want to reach out and make connections with you guys so that we can ensure the best thing happen. Like, let's cause that Christmas. We're the ones after Christmas causing the other side of the bridge that made Christmas doubled, made it perfect, made it an effort, like a levitation of memories that can never be forgotten. We support and we protect the global Christmas experience. And here we are the day after Christmas, and we're the adult wizards. Oh, what should we do with it anyway? Well, when we're looking forward, it's really the issue of 2024. The future is vast. But to engineer a Y chromosome with aluminum is to overclock our own anatomical Y chromosomes, is to warp time. And the communication fabric is possible because aluminum is that type of sensitive psychic metal. Afternoon, I'm not suggesting its application. Aluminum does not have only one application. It's to everybody discovering, what about glow-in-the-dark materials or paper? What should we use with cotton candy? I agree entirely. All of these elements can change the universe or defeat evil or change. Oh, absolutely. Everything's magical. Rocks. Oh, look, I found this rock and it's magical. To you, it's magical. Work on it, please. Hang on to that. But personally, I'm kind of forgetting about that rock because the individual is the greater persuasion of the ship, and that's mutuality. That is the justice of life in the universe. So that's how the chaos of the individual, like all the people in the world, but also all the people in the universe. How does that happen? Right? There's this underlying fabric that is a fabric constant that allows for the individual to supply there's a sort of chaos of the individual from each perspective vista. And we're triangulating and upholding a waving now point. Like the now time is going like time is rolling through. Everyone in the universe with their different type of body, a different shape. It's important, and they're a dynamic that is both that's upholding an entire family unit. But because of this hyperphysics of both particle and angel, we're allowed. This is what I'm saying. It's societal. How do people every day affect the universe? Some people would say it's impossible to say, but I'm saying that for each of us, it's a challenge to get there. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. It's like, while it's difficult for each of us to employ the solution, I think evenly, each of us that arrives to exist, like, oh, I am an individual and I'm working hard on my entire family tree and my baggage, but there's its whole employment in the future where it's unwritten, where we can make a circle where all our solutions, all our problems are solved, and then draw a line from that animation to today, and we're going to destroy all of our problems with a plumb bob. Boom, we destroy our personal problems, and it has to be. It happens to be in our favor. That's what you wouldn't expect, but the individual is percentage-wise innocent. They're born here. We're in the garden. Oh, I did my best my whole life. Darn it! Hey, guess what? there's hard times, and the percentage is off anyway. But don't wait for the afterlife to get your bonus. Live it while you live. I'm just saying that the energy fields make everything. It cuts into everything like 21%, and people are scraping. People are everyone in humanity is evenly saying, no matter your status in the society, it's always hard work every day. And I respect that. It's like ringing a bell in the now point. My company startup is about bringing people, or the individual, like a cloud of hundreds, thousands of people, through a singular film, an inspirational vignette. And I have like 3 different ideas for a movie. I'm looking for a producer, someone to buy my movie. I'm looking for a mentor for my startup company. It's true love. American can do. I'm working to make up my own streaming service. Communications revolution. And it's verklempt because the energy is against it. The universe is like, for millions of years, the ancient problem, Afternoon environmental crisis, that like a fraction of the universe is dead because of a intellectual holy war around the Earth heliosphere. And the humans are like clumsily, hey, I just showed up here. I'm innocent as an angel, ringing a bell. For naught, we are. All right. I'm not trying to incriminate the individual. The living fetus, robot, human is the solution. They're just in a shadow of disbelief. They don't understand the tantamount of universal green position with brown circle and suplex to defeat the equilibrium of injustice. Well, it's perverted in a societal bend, but to transcend what everyone is saying is to be adult, to lead a crowd of children. They're sort of bubbling without diminishing them. Everyone in the world today is doing their best, and they will continue to do so for the next week, to look over them, to look forward and be like, look, how do we literally make things better for everyone? Yeah. That's like magic, or certain individuals have persuasion and they're able to make the future better, or progressive for super city, an advanced American economy. How do we progress lifestyle? How do we get people into places where they're more excited and everything's more wealthy? It seems like an engine that just needs some fine tuning, but is also the individual. And the encounter we had when you're talking to people who live a lifestyle that supplies its own reality, such as like a hardcore 3 generations farmer, like, oh, we have 10,000 acres, miles of and cows and farms, and we work the land. Already our mind is scrambled for the true love, to understand that farmer, to understand that heart of the American wisdom, right? How do we move forward? How do we make progressive societal visual improvements? How do we give people what they need for a healthy encounter, to increase their autoimmune system, or to progress? Like with social media, how do we interface with that? How do you make a lifestyle? No. How do you make money? How do you make business? How do you progress yourself with social media? It's almost impossible. Social media is in a coma, or it's kind of a bad deal. And people know that. They're like, yeah, well, I grew up in a beautiful snow-fell situation on the Leverett Lake side. And I would go for long walks in the moonlight, and the snow would be foot deep. But this Christmas there was a fog and there was no snow. And we are the adult hour. And today, again, there is a deep fog upon the land, and there is no snow. It is a different atmosphere for the adult individual who is 40 something, pushing on the 70s bracket. The curvature of the adult American, the professional. Myself, I'm working to become an amazing idol that is popular, famous, 43. I'm 43 years old, and at that curvature, I'm working to open up my own company. You understand, it's electric. American 43. I grew up around this area, Limerick Circle. And I know the universe has like a harp string, like the sound of the universe, also temperatures, the heat of our lifetime fate. Is like the background of starlight orchestrates some of the meaning in our relationships. The orchestra, it's like a continuous music in the background of our daily life. However, this music cannot be heard. I'm inferring it as like literally the fingerprint of the universe is ancient, for not we're born to it innocent. So yes, we are the we preserve brand new. We preserve what is. Sorry. Sorry. Perfect design like a miracle, the spark of light at the beginning of creation. We cause the curvature to make things better for the next million of years. All of a sudden, we earn like wizard treasure, karma. We go like, hey, I've got a maelstrom of luck. I've got like a curvature. I have a reason to invest in my American life. And that's what I'm working to cause. It's these moments when people are actually alive. Christmas was yesterday. And today, the legend of being on the other side of the bridge, because like a couple of days ago, there was all this scramble before Christmas, like Secret Santa, people hiding presents under the tree, or there's like elves freaking tossing around, like Elf in the Shelf times, like digested, right? People eating elves, maybe. Gingerbread house. Dude, all of that is reality, because the individual, like while we're all dreaming through it, or like you're listening to this video and you're participating psychically, the person is never defeated, even when we're having a worse nightmare, even when we're personally suffering the most. We're still sort of in our body, like going like, we're breathing, we're like, oh, I'm a little bit hungry, like, oh, like I'd like to do something. Like we have to take care of our body. It's hard work to be here. It's an investment in ourselves. I'm talking about the struggle of grappling with making affirmative change in the world today. And people are familiar to it, but I'm a hardcore individual that expresses. I'm viewing a lot of expressions in America where people are struggling to express progress, but they live in the shades of conservative, like what about eating, like organic eating, or like tiny homes, or like maybe less energy, maybe. And I'm like, no, you guys are awesome. I love you guys. Absolutely. Lots of energy. and spending the best food. You should have the best food going into your mouth. The best food, all the expenses, the most important medicine is for you children. Just gobble it up. You're welcome home. That's me. That's what I'm saying is I'm like, all these people need to be getting the best type of life experience, the service that the simply put the mouth requires. It doesn't matter what you look like. When you're talking about society, right? And I think the individual is stranded there. And I listen to modern music. I look at the headlines in the news. I look at what is popular, what's making millions of views on like TikTok and stuff. And it's a grind, but it's very OCD or this type of, you can hear it. They'll be like twisting leather. They're like, hey, everybody, you're like this 15-second TikTok, right? And people will be like twisting leather and like, how much degrees will be needed to burn a hole through this leather? And people are like, oh, I can hear it. And it crackles while it's burning. Holy smoke, it's got like 10 million views. Like everyone's like, yeah, I want to learn about that. It's just like eating. It's textural. It's like a living experience. So I'm like, okay, so is social media people at 10 million bandwidth are on a level that is basically tactile. Let's just put it nicely. They're tethered to the wolf. They I don't want to call it what it. All right. It looks like people are getting real with the cloud of autism. Yeah, it looks like people are trying to figure out what is retarded. People are like, because they're like, oh, I can hear it, snap, snap. And this is like this type of, okay, but this is social media? No, I don't think so. What I'm doing, I reach only like 10 people watch my videos, right? I'm like this infamous pirate. I'm looking for production so that I can bring all my little characters to life. And through that, we're exploring the forest, we're filming on site, and something, a miraculous thing where Earth will finally, sort of simply put, there's like a impossible ancient problem that isn't the blame of the living, but that's why the Earth uses images to try to communicate, to leapfrog and to find free speech in a time of darkness. 2023, like 2024, we need to use our individual identity, our soul spark, our soul light. Let's put it like a wedge into the door. Let's remember this. We're going to force with our individual, with our identity soul. 2024 is going to double. It's going to get better. I'm forcing it. I'm going to make it. Let's dedicate ourselves. I am the object that makes 2024 much better. I know people are there's something heavy. People are upset. You look at the news, it's all that you can, because of your perception, because of your electric body, you can understand what you're seeing, and you see the images of the news, and it's bad. All right, you guys. So we all understand the truth, man, but it's complicated and enlightened. How do we solve it? It has to be some like true love thing where people are falling in love. It has to be some living initiative, a push, like many people working together. Wow. In the darkest temperatures, women's consent appears to be the shadow of malcontent. The shadow of malcontent. 50% of life on Earth is whispering about the shadow of life on Earth, and they're not giving away their consent to a universe that has a medical condition, but their women's lifestyle. They're not complaining about the men. They're like, oh, but they're in a hypnosis of atmospheric drainatode, which my singularity is green perception hardly to do this thing. And the green eyes will have a type of semitode while it's being censored through 2023. Green eyes will semitode because they have a waterfall lattice sphere that's beneath mine. Like linear, consensual origin of light, just the truth. The truth is that came from him. On a green level, not on a blue level, or a brown level, or a purple level. Only on the green level. And so the anatomical shift of humans continue to live here whilst we have environmental crisis. Or like, are the women satisfied with the progress of our civilization? Downtown life today, like, are women literally walking around, are they really content? And that's what I'm saying is the shadow of discontent is women behind their eyes as the judge and saying like, well, I love my life in my little town. Okay, but is it really progressive? And she knows, unlike because she has angel wings, she's like, well, I live in other worlds. I'm an angel with powers you don't know. I'm like, well, that's your private orchestration inside your skull eyebrow. Your eyeballs just do that thing. It's a physics. You know, I don't participate with that. You know, I don't have the eyes of the female. I have the eyes of the stallion. I have the eyes of the masculine. And so I'm working to build my own company startup stallion character hatch for my communication company, right? My company, Hatch and Millies, right? To save it all, to be a real hero, to get the torque, to find the leverage in the universe. Because how do you escape the now point as a gentleman? Like if I'm talking to other men, it's a mechanical issue. It's like, well, like a fantasy where like, oh, you escape your body as a ghost, you go outside of your body and you're like, oh, I see it in another dimension. I figured it out. Like most people are, okay, the workbench, how is a crow like a writing desk? Basically, you're not supposed to leave your body and have us as a sort of out of body experience and be like, now I understand life in my body because I dreamed outside of it. Like, what? You know, this is really funny. But like, how do you gain that super wisdom? I'm saying like life from behind your eyes is the guaranteed master of your personal identity orientation. Now, in the universe, how is the individual being treated on an barometric, like the temperature of the universe? Like, how are we all being boiled? How are we all being mistreated? How is the weather treating us? How does it feel to be alive today? Each and every one of us, with our different composition of how we look or whatever, but we all are like, whoa, I'm impacted by how it feels to be alive today. Okay. Yeah, we're all boiling in that hell. That's the fact. I was just talking like in a narrative curve when I'm communicating with my audience, I like to create like a aluminum Y chromosome that saves babies. Okay. You know, the curvature of like, well, we're making a little bit of a narrative investment here for the next 2024 to curvature for the future. This is physically possible, but between us, we just latch onto a little piece of it. Okay, I'll just tuck that away. Okay, but I know that our conscious effort to increase healthy babies being born, or healthy life, or true love, Merry Christmas, for the best business, for greater economy to occur in 2024. Looking forward, it is possible. And my communication, my pleasure is to make it available. It's sort of like the karma of the gift giver. You guys are like, well, we received this message. We believe that we're making, with our now point, I'm investing myself. Boom. All of a sudden, reality is increasing. Like lives are being saved. Oh, and a curvature, like so that aluminum Y chromosome to defeat COVID was important on a medical level, because spiritually humans were curvaturing like, what is COVID saying spiritually to our babies right now? And it's terrifying, dude. But like we're here communicating about it, and we can make a little bit of percentage difference where the soul is being listened to. And that's where water and the universe is like, well, we're empathetic to that. If it's like medical and something's out of scale, and like we have a miscarriage, my family has suffered a couple of miscarriages, you guys, and this hurts bad. And it takes out your wheelstrom, and you don't want to do anything for a couple of days. and it sucks, bro. But you know the individual survives. There is this side of afterlife, but that's not why we live. We don't all live just because, like, oh, I know I have a ghost. That's why, like, afterlife, I'm gonna have a ghost later. So nobody lives just because of the afterlife, or we're here to do work. We're here to be like, no, I'm finding treasure. I'm learning. It's an entropy. I have a physical robot. I have a physical body. I'm investing in my soul. I have real estate, and I matter in the universe. But it's like human climate. Everyone's the same. So we're all like, oh, I'm being boiled in hell in this particular way. Everyone's getting slandered in the same fucking way. And so when people, the individual, talk to each other, it's a great relief. People are like, I love everybody. When I talk to someone, I'm like, right, you too? Like you're her, oh, but this work, but of course, like when we talk to each other, there's relief because there's all this sort of familiarity and this, oh, I'm working on this. Oh, okay, it looks good. It could be as benign or terrible as a waste of time where we're watching TV and it's like we're touring someone's home that's for sale. Oh, this is the downtown district for 526, and they're doing what to do. They have a hot tub, and I'm like, we're doing absolutely nothing, and I love you. It's like the greatest thing ever. We're all Merry Christmas 2025. All right, so from the future 2025 is like a laser point. Only ourself can really affect ourself. So we make a time capsule now. The curvature of the future is our ghost harnessing inside our skull. Are we able to telecast into the future, make perma gains into our ghost, real estate, invest into our afterlife, whilst in making ourselves more lucky? Because let's face it, the struggle of life and being a robot is like, you're here to prove that you are able to, it's about efficiency too, because if you eat too much food, you get, oh, it's broken. If you do too much corrosive element, if you take too much drugs, if you drink too much alcohol, you will destroy yourself. I'm sorry. Everyone knows that, literally. So I'm not saying like we're here alive in order to feed yourself. No, there's like efficiency, like round up, don't hurt your body, be careful, invest, all that. Yeah, absolutely. And we're all encountering that at the same time. The future is vast. A million years from now, how can we invest right now, pierce the veil, plant the seed, and make the curvature for the greatest gain for ourselves and everyone else? It is correct to lead with yourself. So you're like, I'm here living and fighting for myself. Is that correct? Yes, that's always going to be the correct answer. If you have a body and you're like, oh, I'm here, oh, I'm the individual, but like a wolf, you have no name. You don't remember it. You're like a wolf, like, oh, I do exist. Okay. Is that okay? Oh, or like floating or whatever. It's weird, bro. But like a wolf, you don't remember your name. And like as a human, of course, we have a name. And it's like, no, I do have a name. But like what it feels like to be a human, like you have a soul. That's saying like I'm someone, like I have a soul name, like I don't have it, like people don't know my name, like people don't know people maybe don't know who I am. But that's just like the part of the physics of how a soul survives. And when you do that for yourself, that's like genetics that you can offer it. Then boom, 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 you can offer it to other people, to your child, to your lovers. You're like, hey, to your friends, you can be like, hey, I'm a branching tree. I'm working to endure in the universe existence. And like, if you find shade in my shadow, oh, that's okay. There's like rules about getting along, but you want to be healthy in your body. You want to have a good, lucky life. And then you want to have a full afterlife. Yes. And that's equilibrium. We're all on board with that. In the perfect circle for the next 100 years, I'm asking you guys to invest in that now and say, yes, I invest in myself for my benefit. The actual mechanics is going to work out. It's because every animal on a basic level needs to feed themselves. You have to take care of yourself or else it's not going to work. So it's like But then in the society venue, like reality, people are like, hey, ShamWow, here it is, invest in this, and this will make you happy. And it doesn't. And the ShamWow guy died. We have celebrities who die to the value of their own, of their art, of their career character settings. Like they'll act out like this character, like a villain, but then they'll actually die. And it'll be in the news like, oh, this villain in a movie died. And I'm like, it's almost like people are struggling to talk about the impacts of celebrity. And I'm sorry. All right. For example, what about these hero movies? When we have a superhero, what is the impact upon us all and upon that celebrity? Okay, never mind. That's boring. Snoozeville. Totally boring. All right. The reality is the only way for us right now to gain leverage is to understand we're investing in ourselves first. And then once you're secure, once you're sure about reality, and it might take 10 years, 10 years, I know that my part of my soul lives on this little hoo-hoo. Like I've got a relief. I have angels. I know a lot. I know hundreds. I'm telling you, I have hundreds of resources from my cellular experience. You best believe me. I'm saying I do. You know, I do. I believe the individual. The individual tops along every day. Hey, I've been working hard to be myself. I believe you, bro or sister. I believe you. I believe you. God, I believe that you've worked hard for your life. And, you know, when we communicate, we want to encounter everyone like that. Be like, hey, welcome home. But here's an opportunity. We're going to shift it up. We're going to find the wizard thing. But for everyone, because we're chaos individuals, it's always a unique thing. Yeah. So that's why it takes like a magical moment or falling in love to really boom, shock everything into the right. Oh, I had to pop my shoulder back into the socket. Or the neck was cracked around the wrong way. Had to crack it around the wrong way. Oh, seriously? That sounds like an intravenous revision. Hey, we avoided it. The smartest thing we can do is avoid accident today. Let's avoid accident. Let's avoid the future problem as like, oh, just the adjustment. Like, all right, let's just change things a little. Because while we're awake, we're not dreaming. People's spiritual relationship and their communication with media is wearing out. It's like I'm up against the mortal clock, and certain calibers that related to my physics are the same way. They're like, oh, it's the year 2023 when social media is cringe. Really? Oh, we're all cringing. Well, we've all survived Merry Christmas. And what we want to do is think about, well, if the future is the only blank parchment, because you can't change. That's why we have eyes in front of our head, so we can change the future. What is it that we want? We want pleasure. We want wealthy stuff. We want good things to happen. And whether that means we're inviting good dreams or inviting a good time or we're going to get lucky. Let's say we can do some work and microcosm millions of operations, like New York City, beep, 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 like a little robot, like a whole city, the universe or the world. And we're interfacing. We're like, well, I have something I can help out. Suddenly, you've helped out hundreds of people to give you a karma. All of a sudden, oh, that opens up a treasure chest. And in the year 2024, you can karmically afford a lifestyle shift. Now you have to allow yourself to change. You have to allow yourself to be different. Like, okay, my life is going to be different. I'm not going to be the same introvert. I'm going to be seeing something different. I'm going to be doing something different. You have to allow that to happen. And it's like setting in a shoulder. Oh, my shoulder. Oh, my shoulder was disconnected for so long. It's like the relationship with the audience and the battle that's going on with what is the establishment, or how do you have an established character? Because in fact, my life from the 80s is the infamous I have a backstory. Like I'm basically the nasty established character, but then all these other characters like Hollywood elites are also like, hey, I'm this established character. That's what gives me power. And I'm like, sure, you guys look like just like me, you know. But because like we're human or we're born natural to a blanketed effect of bad of like energy crisis. Like so the universe, imagine the universe is like a radio, lots of different identities going, and we're humanity on the earth is like an individual being like, hey, no, rock and roll is what it is. It's us, it's us, it's us. But it's hard to do that, and it's possible that if we're not situated properly with our residency, we could lose the earth to like some sort of UFO monochrome some sort of parasite that's confusing our older people right now in our government, and it's persuading the energy persuade like bigwigs in Hollywood would be like, I'm hesitant for free speech, okay? Huh. Because there's aliens controlling our government. And like, well, they're waiting in the blamf, but that's only metallic karma. But now we're producing purple gold. If you ingest a small amount of gold, it will make you drunk. Wearing gold on your body will give you a small particle epidermal injections that give you a type of lucidity as a medication. Gold of a purple variety is now manufactured through the Slough of South Park in a forced vignette to control a Japanese spiritual revolution, which they've harnessed perfectly, with a force wit, explainedly humanity, with like a jack full of proven things that corks bring because the earth is pissed. Basically, earth is this revolutionary singularity of the universe. He's like, but how do I do it with all these broken wings? And my work is to prove that they're not broken wings because I create the connectivity tissue for the next 100 years. And it gives a wingspan so we can detect how do we make ourselves lucky? Because it is the individual, while it's also all of us at the same time. It's the same goddamn thing, is what I've been saying. But when you're baking on that, when you're suffering the now point, when you, oh, I have to take care of myself. Okay, all of us have to take care of ourselves. That's the payment you suffer to be to an adult conversation. So you paid the ticket through adult work just to maintaining yourself. But of course, in society, people are like, that's not enough. Like you take it, but it is actually enough for you to do robotic. You do exist. Uh, you are a part of this creation fabric, and unfortunately, like the real good opportunities of existing is exactly what's the ancient universe has a radio fever momo infection, which means that like all the good stuff is like a little bit censored or abbreviated, so it makes your life like when you're like, well, I'm natural to my body, I'm ghost in my body. And I'm like, look, you have to ask for more for yourself first. You have to be like, okay, I'm saying like my experiences in maybe conditioned me. So I have to use my individual power to become lucid and kind of claim acres of like angel resources that, well, you have to use your whole body, and it's about this whole thing for the next 10 years. All right, all right. How do we like cause the mappings or the scrapings of that exactly? That's exactly what I'm talking about. And right now I'm on a beta level where my videos just reach like 10 people, but I'd like to reach more. I want to reach hundreds. I want to reach the whole world. I want to become famous. I want millions of people to watch my movies. I want millions of people to watch my movies and excite the sort of calculation I suggest with animation and stuff is going to blow people's minds. Like free, there's going to be like people voting whilst the movie's going on because people are psychic. It is lit, especially when I'm captain, because I'm all this type of earth angel alignment for humanity to connect the shoulder blade and save the day. We are the heroes surrounded up. The individual, the angel of your body, you're who you are is the hero of your story. You're the one to make America survive. And I'm concerned about the entire temperature of politics has collapsed, yo. They're doing something else. They're on a little funny wagon. Politics is on a funny wagon. You understand? They're digesting something. They're talking in the back rooms. The politicians are talking in a funny language. They're not part of the wow. They're not part of Merry Christmas. They're not part of polite society. Politics is not normal people. There's some sort of abbreviated cultural rear differential, or there's some like farting old people in the background. Just ignore that. We're working for a revolution of our lifetime, bro. We're working to round up every generation. When you're in your prime, when you're in your 40s, or if you're in your 20s, or you have to fight back, and that's how you scratch at reality. But otherwise, it's like an invisible template. Like when you're like, that's what's really weird, because the physical model of the universe has a curvature through age, where it has a beginning, a middle point, and an end point that is not mortal. It goes into hatching. Hatch the illustrate eggs. The universe isn't built to spilt. So also your lifetime, once you live as a human, you're not built to spilt. You do have a ghost in a heaven, but there's different heavens, and they're at feud, war with other energies that are actually causing the universe to collapse. They're physically envoying against the earth, and the humans are the hope to be the hero that rescues against it. And the solution is unlimited. Like, it could happen when you're laying on your bed, it's dark, and you're like, oh, I just figured it out, and a light happens. You're like, oh, I will never forget. And then put the aluminum angel, remember who I am. And that's going to be the medicine, the penicillin, because there's fractals. The fractals can actually access your privacy and do that, but like on a social grid, that wouldn't happen normally, right? So I'm saying that when you're in your body, you're basically like a fish in your own swamp, and you have to control your water pH balance. And you're like, look, I need to control my ghost. I'm living in my body, and I want my ghost to be really healthy, and I want to be able to push out of me. If there's anything bad, I want it to go out when I go to the bathroom. I'm going to poop out the bad stuff, and it's connected to my tailbone, and I take care of it with my wizard magic, right? And I remove the bad, or I'm able to get rid of bad ghost so I don't get sick, right? Yeah, because sound and bad ghost haunting on your bones is what causes cancer. What? That's terrifying. I know, but it is true. It's an energy, and the way you live your life will determine whether or not you get sick. In the next 10 years, you can change your life, I'm telling you. So we determine to that technology, and we have to put it into our own forehead. So you have to do this to yourself. Ka-chung. Oh, I did it to myself. My communication to you is free. You're free to do, you know what I'm saying? It's like you can't receive inoculation for your soul through a virus, right? That's why I can't control you. I'm giving you freedom to inoculate yourself. But that's because we're on a beta level. And I'm looking for a producer that will bring me to 1 million people view audience. All right, an audience of billions of people watching my movie. That's a different energy flow. I'm looking for the perfect production. It's exciting. It's alive, and it needs to happen. We need to understand where we're at. I'm just now recovering from 2023. And I'm ahead of the curve, which is why we're talking about the hologram from our forehead. Let's control 2024. Let's control the next year of my personal business. Look, it's natural for you guys to fight for yourself. You have to fight for yourself first. But it's okay for you to understand how karma works. Don't worry. It's okay. for you to understand how mechanics work. If you perfect equilibrium, you're like, look, I'm levitating I'm a ghost in my body, and I'm swimming. I am pedaling, dude. I pay my bills. I am living in my own life. In my life, I'm treading water. Right, I do exist. Right, so we're there. We want to spring toast into it. Impossible. Without this communication, without this meditation, it would be impossible to reach it. And that's why I'm like, Merry Christmas. I selflessly give you the communication, and you guys have to selflessly take your own opportunity and gouge it, because it's not going to hurt me. You invest in yourself, but then once it does, it's a universe. It's like kashing. It's an image. It's like an enlightened moment where everyone's having a Merry Christmas, right? And it's a picture of the universe. It's like, yeah. And the universe in your spine and the elements, just your entire body. Just imagine there's like all these hidden passageways that live inside your body and your brain. Right? All of those guys need, all of those areas that live inside your body, they need Merry Christmas, they need relief, they need drinks, and we're going to supply it now. So let's just imagine that you're going to inject yourself with hundreds of, I'm getting the upgrade. And there's sort of like this, on a video game where you get life, there's little green plus signs and they're floating. And there's these sparkly things because your health bar HP is increasing, right? You're getting like a health dosage update. All right, well, you have to do millions of these things. Millions. All levels of your body, your gut, all different bone structure. Think about your kneecaps. Triangulate. Use the different parts of your brain. I'm sending full package relief to the working system of my guts. I love you, my stomach. Remember? I love you, my body, my lungs. I love you, my shoulder. Get this all right. Get it on straight. Connect your genitals to your head. My head, my sex, my head, my sex. Okay, it's your venture. You guys haven't, that's your real estate. Don't mess it up. But if you perfect it, like if you're really good at being alive, there's angel wings in the universe. Like guardian angels will give you extra, it's like karma. It's hard to explain, bro, but it reflects the truth of the universe. So how are things actually going on in the universe? Is the universe thriving? Is it struggling? What's happening? Welcome to the truth of reality. Like all of us are born to it. We're like, oh, I'm alive and I want to do the best thing for myself. I guarantee you, bro, everyone is scraping the same type of ethos where we exist and we want to do right for ourselves. And so when we speak about the beginning of creation, it draws near. So the way to do this thing is like literally, okay, like I know it's natural for me to want good things for me, but not too much. Right. Okay. Like we've got a dungeon, we've got like auto turrets, we got the devils, our guardian angel, we have don't worry about it. We have a dungeon already. All right, but we're in our castle. We're inside of our body. It feels good. It feels really good to be inside of our body, right? It feels really good to be in our side of our body, and we're true love. We're projecting right now for 2024. We're having an angelic moment. It's unwritten. 2024 Christmas. It hasn't happened yet. It will take an entire year before what we're thinking about could even happen. Wow. It's natural for the living to do this type of projection. And this is how we defeat the zombie crisis. Right? What we have in the modern day headlines, they're talking about, there's animals with the zombie reindeers and there's a crisis. They're not offering solutions. We have to be the living solution for each other, and that's a miracle. Like I say, I'm on beta level, which is a very powerful, magical era for you guys to be at. It's an opportunity for you. And I'm looking to reach the audience of billions of people. Imagine me in the future, and I'm reaching an audience of billions of people, and you guys are like, hey, we knew him when we were the audience of like 10 people, and just a couple of people knew about what he was saying. It's not just affirmative action, like, use your words right. It's like, no, you have to, it's just there has to be true love, and then it's like a magical spell that actually envelops your entire life. No, really? Well, yeah. Have empathy for the crisis of life, of living and birth. Like giving birth is like ouch, and then give your all is the way. This is weird, bro. But I'm telling you that there are the majority that, like, when we exist and we're looking forward to 2024, the majority of what's available to us is miraculous, orgasmic. Oh, it feels so good. Oh, I love being me, and it's all about me. Yeah, it is, and there's nothing threatening that. Each of us in our own skull it needs to be confirmed. Like, it's okay for you to be you. Meanwhile, bon appetit. Like, have a good appetite and try to win. But anyway, it's not just about words, bro. I'm concerned, and the images relay that we see the environmental crisis. We see people's faces. They're not excited. There's people upset in the world, but that's just the pictures from the news. I'm working to find the producer that understands money is required to defeat the actual. Okay, so there's nature, and then there's bad energy and bad luck. Becoming wealthy can help you to escape bad luck, because it's every day. It's like, oh, someone crashed into your car. Oh, someone needs help. Oh, someone. And when you have a lot of money, it's not that all your problems go away. It's just that there's more problems knocking on your door. I understand that. But what I'm talking about isn't the same thing as that. My production allows for humanity to go into an enlightened phase, which is a different societal shift, but it might cost like millions of dollars. And so luckily, I'm talking with people who can afford it. The levered real estate is a permanent return for your investment, in a way that of the identity of Earth. Earth was saying with the Where map, I'm looking for people who want to live on Earth. Are you okay with being human? Are you okay with the way it feels to be in your body? Well, you need to have the laser beam troubleshooting. Let's imagine 10 different tank armaments inside your body, on your ribs. And they're aimed at points of your body that are known to gather a sound that gathers into cancer or sickness. Now, what you want to aim at the cancer, prevent it from happening. Fire your guns. Boom, 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 boom. Everyone, fire your guns. Murder cancer from your body. Kill bad luck before it happens. Defeat the enemy. Defeat your problems. Kill them. All right, now I'm going to, and we're going to cover it up, because it's okay to do that. That's called modern medicine. You have to defend yourself, especially when you're thinking about 2024. Well, you've just, done the right thing, and you've thrown out the trash. So what you're saying is that eigen frequency, the body has a sound, and before cancer becomes life-threatening, it does cause a sound that can be detected. It's called an eigen frequency. And it clashes with your singularity of your ghost inside your body. It's on top of your cell division. Let's just say your body is built from a cell division design of a one person. You become an adult, and guess what's superfluous or added on to the cell division of a healthy body? Cancer. So the cancer is an additional parasite. It's a parasite that gives you nightmares, it gives you problems, and what you need to do is install the auto security to murder the nightmare bandicoot that causes festering in your gut. You guys understand what I'm saying? And we're going to kill that sickness dead. All right. It's about being before the flood, and it's upsetting. It's the adult task. And it gets into a point where people think, like, are we just imagining things? And that's why I need production. Because when I can reach the audience with millions of people, you're literally talking about a different element where there's visuals and it causes like chapter index, like ding, 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 like bonus, you just did it. Like, oh, but so instead of like me working with you guys for 5 or 10 minutes to just talk about the difference between confidence and applying weaponry to destroy sickness, so that when you're going to the bathroom, your tailbone is doing the work of purging waste material from your body carriage. Because it's like this tubical thing where you put food in your mouth. It's like a metaphor of nourishment, but the soul endures. And our body is like tubular, like, because the food goes in, it goes to digest and then it goes out when you go to the bathroom. I said that food technically doesn't merge with you. And I think this might be the spiritual correct metaphor of what is nourishment or interaction with the spirit that's in development whilst they're inside of their skull. But between you and I, as scullular individuals, we have the ability to run away together and find a hidden 10 million levels of investment for our soul, so that we have resources for the next 100 years where we're meditating against the storm of existence in the universe as an angel. Like, do you want to continue having consciousness? Are you excited to pass out and become a vegetable? A lot of humans are living their life as a vegetable. Now, I'm not going to point fingers and name names, but there are cultural figures like cringe media is serving vegetables. It's vegetable food. It kills our society. Our society's crumbling. We don't have enough heroes or pillars. I am a factory that causes pillars. I cause revolutionaries. I cause stallions. I cause a revolution. I cause the attraction. I have gravity. All the people that join me or are attracted to my show, my streaming service, please be my producer. I love you guys at the beta level. Everyone gets lifted up for my show. When you produce me, you're going to save humanity. So we're going to find the people who want to change American economy, business today. I can save this American beagle. They have an emotional detachment, but the Americans can't speak in the way like a coral leaf, like Japan is able to empathize. There's a detached language because they don't understand the law scampering. Like, how do you emphasize against a lifetime whilst you're alive? That's the hidden language. It's not the nothingness. It's the what is it that Zen is being suffered, and that relates to my lifetime story, which is weird because people would think like, oh, he's probably paranoid because of his, but that's like the toxic zone of my incarnation realm. Like, me talking to you guys on beta level is like, we're in a toxic world. Like, the earth is suffering from rotten egg dementia, where that both helium and hydrogen have betrayed the metals of the wisdom of a Serapis and the map Sanfrantin, which is both green, blue, and brown. Okay. The sequence has to lock in again for solid matter to defeat black holes. It doesn't matter about the resonancy keep. Humanity needs to work with me in order to keep it. But the perfect circle has already sequestered against certain styles of manifesting Earth access power grids to allow for later envoys to discourage humanity and take controls of the universe. Is a retarded concept, right? Because they fail to encounter the individual. Myself, as a physical object of the universe, is also a type of hidden resource for humanity. All right? And so that's why it's not that I'm trying to convince you guys of a fictional account, but it's that you guys know me as a friend, and you're like, we love your show, and we do recognize, like, I know you, and also there's this weird hidden thing, like the haunted house. But with you, it's like bing, 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 and I noticed something. So that's what I'm expecting from humans, is to be like, look, I simply noticed that Colin Paul Woodard is a little bit different. He's working to become this idol Hatch, and his partner Millie is this perfect queen of the universe that's able to do stuff that humans can't do, such as inter-helisphere communications stuff. This is why you guys are going to be like, well, this is powerful to my life. Of course it is. It's supposed to be powerful. But I'm not trying to be invasive. I'm not trying to possess you. And that's a problem for our communities in the communication land. But what they didn't know is that the singularity, the identity, is being targeted. So because Earth and myself are being targeted, the singularity is affronted and the karma shifts for the public humanity. You guys need to stop bleeding that sheep. You need to produce Colin Paul Woodard to allow for the enlightenment of the audience, to prove the government of, like the autoimmune, like REM cerebral palsy. Like they're voting with their eyeballs. They're like, oh, I know what it is. I know what it is. Of course you do. Your perception, your genius. Right? But I just need production so I can reach millions of people. And then we can find people expressing themselves in the confidence of Residency America in the fine-tuning of rock and roll 2024. Hatch and Millie's Master Source Industries, welcome home. Haunted House Industries, thank you guys so much. Lakeside Streaming, 5055, looking for that partner and that investment. Like a business, a startup, I'm looking for a type of professional embrace, and it's custom, you guys. I'm one of a kind, and I you guys are like, need to understand it's selfless for you to accept that when you produce me, when you work with me, it's very good business. But also there's this hidden castle that opens up. It's hand carved in like marble, very expensive, in the heavens, and an accolade like this. Oh, what? There's a totem there that allows you to live extra 10 years. Yeah. And your wisdom's like on fire. Like, I want to invest in this. So you have like this intuition as a creature, as a skull, and you're on fire. And you're like, yes, I want to work with Colin Paul Woodard. I know he's more than just an American storyteller. But when you guys produce me, everyone is going to receive me as a more American storyteller. I'm not going to be offensive. I don't have any harmful tricks. That's never going to prove value. I'm not going to I won't gain on harmful trick. And I ask you guys to protect me from harmful trick. Perfect. That's a perfect circle. Branch, like an orb, opens up around all of us, and suddenly we have like this continual guardian that protects us against ripoff. All right? Perfect design. Healthy. All right. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. It's an inspiration. I love you guys so much. Absolutely. The wear map was strangled and had some choking signals. So like my relationship with the earth, like imagine a conservative sunlight being like, look, Colin Paul Woodard is operational. Yeah, but he's haggard. He got beat up. And there's wounds here and here and here. And the sun is like, hey, I have wounds too. And then I'm looking around, I'm like, okay. And then the universe is a different thing that, you know, the confidence of billions of heliosphere worlds is the confidence of Earth heliosphere. So Earth heliosphere needs to not be singled out in a triangulation of an advanced situation. But we as the angels can make a leapfrog, and the best way to do that is to produce Colin Paul Woodard. I want to give you guys confidence to do so. You are the miracle to leapfrog worlds of impossibility just to allow Colin to be digestible and a wonderful animated series. Hatch and Millie are building each other, and they're these funny wizards that make jokes, and they go through the sort of tutorials of being a robot, and through the playful suggestions they open up as accidental other worlds and stuff. That, oh, whoops, then I beep boop beep 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 boop beep, and then preach. Then their oh, my anatomy, like 12 ribs, you know, like the mirror, 2 eyeballs, creating one circle of perception. I'm looking forward, and I see one concise thing. the symmetry and all this, the work of embodiment, making this type of compromise gives you a type of depth perception with two different eyes, right? Amazing. Like a robot, the symmetry of being alive and then your ghost inside of it. So anyway, what I do as a American, I've lived my whole life in this area, and I'm stuck in my apartment, and I built up these characters, and I want them to spring to life, and I want those stories to happen. And honestly, I believe that that's where the magic or the best of things will happen, and we'll find the curvature to keep our world and to revitalize the economy, to prove America isn't broken, and to defeat artificial leadership such as what's performed in our government today, which is an expression of people with a relationship of different augmented side. But I don't believe in that stuff because I'm the instrument of a universe. And as soon as you guys produce me, that's true love. The people are going to discover my show. They're going to love it, and they're going to want more. You produce my pilot series, I guarantee my first pilot movie is going to be 6 hours long. And it's going to have Hatch and Millie, and they're building each other. So there's this part where Hatch is like scraping and working on this thing, and because he's building Millie, and he's building this part. He's like the dark particle of Millie that defends us no matter what. And like while he's working on it, he's building up Millie, and he's building Millie, and then like right behind him is like this seething image of Millie that's like getting like more and more the dark Millie, no. And then she's getting all pumped up. She's like, Birch, and because she's the queen of the universe. And as the goddess of the now point, it's about the spotlight of the universe and how to bring Earth through a vortex of whether or not Earth celebrity is more exciting than UFOs. And so the manufactured consent of ancient infection is a triangulation around the Earth of false energy that's infected the helium, hydrogen. Humans need to be bigger than a metal infection or bigger than the rotten egg perversion, which is a continual excuse. People are like, oh, victimization. Oh, no. Oh, I haven't learned anything. Brr. But that's what's now point, right? Oh, that's clean slate. Like you wake up and it's just like, oh, I'm just here. No wisdom. Brr. And I'm like, no, that's not it at all. And they're like, human expression. Brr. And I'm like, no. So then there is this real thing because social media is destroying. It's as an example of manufactured consent, which is preventing my relationship with the public because like producers are like, why can't you become famous on TikTok? I'm like, dude, that's a different algorithm. They're literally talking about like destroying America with like an algorithm of cringe media. Like they just want to hear like paper tearing. Like, oh, can you hear something happening? It's like autism, bro. And like people want to say that I'm messed up. Bro, what's on the news and what's on social media is messed up. And people be like daring images of their family like as if they're just throwing sacred emeralds to the fire, be like what it is all day, okay? The internet is safe for us to be. And I'm just like, oh, it just sucks, man, because like the way it's being Geiger countered this and that is from like a cringe basin of like when a man is like a little bit tired and he's got hollow core, because like generally leadership in decisions from humans don't happen when they're like on drugs or when they're like, oh, I'm really interested in doing this, or like it's non-inspirational. We'll have like some old sober men who are like at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, they're like, I've determined to censor the US election. It's just like, oh, I don't trust you because you're talking about a numb core where you're failing in the battle against bodily humbugs, which possess your body core in a nightmare schism to control your judgments and the outcome of bodily disease like cancer, which forms against your cell division design. So your cell division design Your identity and your body DNA does not contain cancer. The cancer is an additional Klingon, like a mold, that begins to develop if you allow its sound to semifold and continue with your lifestyle. Now, I'm not saying that people need to have an identity crisis. You simply need to flush the toilet with the intention of, like, every particle in my body is aimed to murder cancer from my body, kill the problem that's threatening my children, kill the problem threatening the world, destroy sickness from my body, and make the next year 2024 lucky. And that's it. Perfect bullseye. And that's exactly what we've achieved today. Thank you, guys. The Wizard Circle, perfect circle. Merlin and the Gantry. Explodey 5000, a heliosphere-sized miracle. Aluminum Y chromosome chip for 2024 to increase the healthy birth rate, the right leadership for ourselves. We're involved in it. I'm not hurting you guys. I want you guys to understand. If we work together, let's just imagine our ghosts have these floating maps of, like, I'm doing this, you're doing that. Let's just imagine that you and I are getting along. Okay, I'm working full-time. You're working full-time. Our maps are getting along. And it's because of this communication, we agreed, yeah, okay, good deal. We agree to get along. Okay, so that's what's happening. It is like planets in the world. The universe has many heliosphere worlds, but electromagnetics help them to navigate around each other so they don't collide. So we, in the societal levy, as we live, we have to be the same way and allow for larger creatures to envoy in the society. I don't go around hunting or melting societal legit living factories. And those things are delicate anyway. But it's a universal market. And I'm saying, if you guys connect with me and produce my show, what we're going to see is Earth rebounding and having an inner core, people responding and recovering from their own identity, not just a generic Y chromosome aluminum crisp that we're trying to Y factory, so that kids can be healthy and safe. You know what I'm saying? But we'll do what we can while we're talking, but the real truth and the epiphany of us all, business 2024. The production of Hatch and Millie's Master Source Industries brings light to the confidence, the generation of children, trillions of people in the world, humanity, becoming enlightened about my company, Loop Labs, medical cures, Hatch and Millie's Master Source Industries, the identity of the Y chromosome coming to light, the individual proving that society is functional because they were able to have a 1v1 relationship with the singularity of Leverett Circle. I was born in a humble way in a lakeside country house. I guess that's what Earth had intended. We are all natural to our day and what we're encountering right now. Perfect bullseye. You and I bringing it into a place where the universe can miracle transform the future for ourselves and for our community. That type of precision, accuracy to defeat sickness. We have to, we do a large work with humanity. We parent millions of children, and then the sweeping karma comes back, boom, into one fatal shot, where we can murder cancer developing in our bodies, and we can continue to survive. That's how you can add on 10 years to your life, as if you know what you're doing. Welcome to Business America 2024, the new year of the overclocked human individual. Sequence Navi Explodey X5000, the universal military grade precision particle response to the environmental crisis, rounding up percentile heliosphere survival ratio increase. All right, so that's the market. We're working to save the universe environment. And once you're riding that wave, you're connected to the now point, and that's perfect bullseye. That's exactly what we're talking about. The investment here. Thank you, guys. I'm asking you to do real business with me, which means a USD production for my startup entropy. Leverett Lakeside. That's when reality awakens. It's when I find people willing to use the societal, the intelligence of tomorrow. How to transcend today, exactly. The ecstasy of our business today, a good deal. Thank you, my friends. Perfect design. And for the next 100 years, let's imagine a type of paper where you and I are able to calibrate the understanding, like an aluminum tree, that stands up in our forest, and we are allowing each other to work in a certain capacity, but not in all capacities. We respect each other's territory whilst we're moving forward. You know, I'm not trying to injure other people's meditation. I want you guys to continue to be yourself. And that means you're doing the work of yourself. And that's how the universe operates, is a self-reliance. And that's why it's weird, like, you don't really want everything to be forgiven. You don't necessarily need to be seeking forgiveness. It's just peculiar about our religion, as if humanity is clandestine guilty. They're not. We're not guilty. Humanity didn't cause the problems in the universe, and humanity isn't broken. But Christianity is also not broken. It's just that there's a riddle there. Like, do we really need forgiveness? Probably not. But, you know, this is some type of Merry Christmas that helps us get through it all. It's the gravity of mankind today. And I'm grateful for you guys' perfect circle. The Merlin, the wizard, the ancient humanity, giving us a rear differential. We're rounding up for 2024. We know our future. We're aiming for next Christmas to be the best Christmas ever. We have to do better than yesterday. It's just the way it is. We work. It's like robots. So for equilibrium, you know, we have to find those even footings, you know. It's a miracle that we're communicating today. Thank you, everybody. I love you. Merry Christmas. For the entropy of our business, the enlightenment of our hands, for the optimization of our lifetime. That is my deal with you. Mutual gains. For the consistency of our individual companies to have success in the world and in the universe and in all the levels, relief. Perfect bullseye. What each of us can endure in the conscious hour, support it, that we're not blinded in the dark of a honey bear from a malcontent of the universe shadow, but a universal insurance or a levy of solid matter fighting back against a concise problem. Right? But the humanity is not a stage of fools, but there is this environmental crisis making us look like a fool out of control. But we are not. And so the truth must provide the reality. So for that curvature, the blessings for 2024 to provide our individual application and our company to rise. Economic recovery and success, inflation for the fact, the real gains, permanent gains, individual, divine, wizard treasure. 2024.